buddy. This was one big mistake. Bringing me to this world, keeping me from my friends. I don't want to hurt you, but I can't let this go on. Messiah. What the? Nice light show. I like your style, but I still can't let you win. There's too much at stake for me to back down. Prove it.
Archie Sonic versus Makoto Yuki is a perfect death battle. Okay, so first things first, this was supposed to be a one-time thing, but you guys really liked the video, so obviously I wanted to make more. However, I don't really think that you should expect this video to be in the same vein as that one. And what I mean by that is that there's a very clear outcry in the death battle community for light versus white, and believe me, if my goal were to get a ton of views, there were many other popular community matchups I would have gone with for this video. But clearly my goal isn't views because now I'm doing Persona vs. Sonic. And look, at first glance, I was confused about the matchup too. Wow, they're both blue. I better go make a custom thumbnail so that I can get 12 upvotes on r/death battle matchups. But again, hear me out. Not every matchup is what it seems on the surface. Boiling this matchup down to a color scheme is reductive and does a terrible job at conveying why it could work so well. Aside from all the connections, there are two main reasons that I think this matchup works. And if you'll indulge me for a moment, I'll need to geek out, as the kids say, for the first reason. Okay, the matchup would be hype as fuck. I don't want to sugarcoat it. Look, I'm not a power scaler or anything. I'm not going to sit here and tell you about the cosmology or how many Yoda tons of TNT these guys equate to. I don't care. I just know that they're both OP as shit. Look, we just had Joker and Death Battle. You've seen how busted these Persona characters get, right? Get this, Makoto is widely considered to be one of, if not the most powerful Persona protagonist out of all of them. And hell, it's been 5 years since we've seen Archie Sonic. Last time the gimmick was the fastest Flash versus the fastest Sonic, so then why not the most powerful Sonic versus the most powerful Persona protagonist? Yeah, you're right. Those are a dime a dozen. Archie Sonic isn't short on good matchups, I won't deny that. I actually like quite a few of them. So there's gotta be another reason this matchup works, aside from the animation potential and the connections. And there is. I've always been much more interested in how the characters interact with each other, how they relate to each other. And these two do it in a very interesting way. I truly think that the main reason this matchup works is less about the similarities and more about the tonal contrasts. These two characters represent fundamental opposites in personality types and overall themes of their source material. Sonic the Hedgehog embodies the theme of life, and Makoto Yuki embodies the theme of death. Sonic represents life in its purest form, freedom, energy, and joy. He thrives on adventure and the thrill of pushing forward, never letting anything weigh him down. His belief in free will, his optimism, and his resistance against oppression makes him a symbol of life's ability to flourish despite its challenges. Makoto, on the other hand, quite literally embodies death, but not in a negative way. He represents the inevitability of death and the acceptance of it as a natural part of existence. His journey in Persona 3 is one of confronting mortality, coming to terms with the finite nature of life, and ultimately embracing sacrifice for the greater good. These two characters are fighting for the same thing, but with two totally different outlooks on what it means to live and die. Permanent death is no rarity in the Archie comics. In fact, it happens quite often and is usually treated as something that can't be overturned, unless you're our favorite hedgehog. Sonic has never really had to face death in a meaningful or lasting way because the entirety of his character serves to protect others, to fight for what's right, to ultimately prevent death. And in Persona 3, the entire point of the game is to accept mortality as a fact that makes life worth living. The reason the true ending is so heartbreaking is because it challenges the player's acceptance of the point the game has made over and over in the playthrough, except now it's personal. Now it's happening to your character. The point I want to make with this matchup is that sometimes we are so engrossed in the battle that we lose sight of the significance of the death. It's not always the case, but I feel like sometimes we can get so lost in the noise of the power scaling, the animation potential, the dialogue opportunities, the content that we, the audience, lose sight of what makes a character special. It's never about how many planets they can destroy or even how they make us feel as they fight. It's always about how far they're willing and able to go before either prevailing or meeting their end. But that's not always the end. The team has done an incredible job in the past few years making the deaths feel meaningful, writing the characters in a way that we remember them in their final moments, endlessly quoting them, feeling inspired by them, and respecting them in the way that their original stories intended. And at the end of the day, that's what makes this show so special. The lengths the team is willing to go to give us just a little bit more content with our favorite fictional characters, in spite of their circumstances. Perhaps there is something worthy in the battle and in the death. So yes, I do think that Makoto vs. Sonic is perfect, but try as I might, I don't necessarily think that it has to be this one. There are plenty of opportunities to explore this theme thoroughly. This is just the one that means the most to me. Thank you so much to anyone who helped out with this video. You know who you are. I really like this format of death battle videos, and I do want to make more, but it just takes so much from so many every time. I hope you understand if they only come out like once a year. So with that, I'll leave you to your day. I hope I didn't bring you down too much with such a heavy topic. Just keep your head up and keep moving forward, okay? Because I'm sure that's what they would do, too.